Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada. And today I want to show you how I made this card using the Simply Elegant product suite from the annual catalog. I shared it as part of the Creativity Abounds blog hop, and I think you're going to really love it. I have to admit that the Simply Elegant product suite was not on my radar when I first saw it in the annual catalog, but it's one of those stamp sets or those product suites that you're absolutely going to love once you see it and you start to see some of the projects that are made with it. The designer series paper is absolutely stunning. So if you're here for the very first time, thank you so much for finding me and joining me. And if you're here returning, thank you so much for coming back. So let me just switch over to my desktop and I'll show you how to make this card. All right, so this is the card that I shared. I'll just lift it up a little bit. And I've used two of the different designer series paper. And so the paper actually has silver, gold, and copper foil in it. It's kind of hard to see in the camera. And then the colors are basic gray, black, and then the foils, and then Very Vanilla is kind of the basic piece. So I've used Very Vanilla and just stamped. So it's a really simple little card. So, oops, my little sticky note. And it's cut. This is cut 5.5 by 7 3/4, and folded or scored at 4 1/4. And then you just put this little peekaboo of designer series paper on the edge. All right, let's get started. Okay, I've got my supplies here. And I realized I don't have my paper trimmer handy, so let me just grab it. Here we go. Okay, so as I said, all of the measurements for this card will be on my blog, and the link to my blog will be underneath the video. So you'll be able to go out and find them if you miss the measurements or the written instructions. All right, so my card, piece of cardstock, again, is cut. Oops, moving things, didn't mean to do that. Moving things. So this is cut 7 3/4 by 5.5, and I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. My paper trimmer doesn't fall off and make a loud bang. And I'm going to just fold it and use my bone folder to give it a really good crease. Now I'm going to take, I've got a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock that is cut 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to, actually before I adhere that down, I've got a strip of the designer series paper that I've cut to be 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to adhere this. Oops, sure am I. If your Stampin' Seal isn't on the edge so that it runs, just take your finger and move it. And the trick is to kind of roll it off. And I'll do that again. So when you get to the end of where you want it, just kind of roll your wrist, and that helps it so that your Stampin' Seal actually gets right to the, or stays right on the edge, so that when you go to use it again, I'm just trying to see this. I'm having a there, sorry, I took off camera. It's having a hard time seeing that edge. Okay, so that's on the edge, and then we're just going to adhere this piece. You can actually stamp a sentiment on the inside, but I decided I was just going to leave a lot of room for writing a note on this card, so I didn't stamp anything on the inside. So that's the inside of your card done. Now I've got a piece, another piece of Very Vanilla, and so this one is cut 3 1/2 by 5 1/4, and it's going to go on the front. I've got a piece of another piece of designer series paper. Grab my ruler here. That is cut 3 1/4. Oh, sorry, this piece is cut 3 1/4 by 5 1/4, and this is 3 1/4 by dropping things by 2.5. And we're going to just adhere. See how pretty this, the other side of this is. It's got gold and very vanilla. Oh, this paper is stunning. You're going to love it. All right, so this is just going to adhere right on the bottom, lining up with the edges. If you use multi-purpose adhesive glue, like I probably should have, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. Now I'm going to use the other thing that comes in this product suite is this amazing twine in both silver and gold. So I'm going to use the gold on my card today. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to stamp in basic gray. I'm going to stamp this really pretty flower on the top. Like that. And while I have my ink out, I'm going to stamp the For You. There's my block. Oh, there's the block. I had one. And I've got a scrap of Very Vanilla here, and I'm just going to stamp the For You like that. And I have my double oval, so I'm going to cut or punch out one piece in the scalloped oval in the basic gray. And now I'm going to have to trim this, I realized. Just trim this so it fits in. And can I line it up? There we go. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that. We have we don't have a really big dog, but there is a really big bull mastiff, I think. It's a massive dog that lives next door to us, and he barks at other dogs going by. So apologies if you heard him. All right, so we're just going to, this punch is amazing because it lets you, oh, I realized I stamped For You. Anyway, that's okay. On my sample, I stamped thank you, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to just wrap. Now, I'm going to take this twine, layer it, start on the back, and I'm going to wrap it just around 3 times. And I'm not going to push those together. I'm just going to take, and I'm going to adhere this. I'm just going to hold these pieces, and I'm going to use some dimensionals just to hang up. Oops, I lost one there. Okay, let's do this again. So let's put a dimensional over top of that to hold it in place, because I'm going to use dimensionals to hold this on anyway, so I might as well just have dimensionals to hold this in place. There we go. And now I'm going to add some dimensionals onto the back of this too. This is quite a big piece, so I'm going to put some in the middle there so I don't get a saggy middle. Nothing worse than a saggy middle. All right, take this off. This in place. Kind of line this up. Like that. And now we can add a couple of dimensionals onto the back. And put that on. So that's a pretty quick and easy card, and the designer series paper really is the star of the show for this. Let me just bring in my other one. So I use thank you on the one and For You on the other. All right, let's switch back over. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that card. It was fairly quick and easy to make. And so if you are interested in any of the supplies for this, the supply list for this card is on my blog as well as the link to my online store. If you have any questions, you can post them underneath the video or on my blog, and I'm happy to respond and help you with your questions. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'd love for you to subscribe so you get notified when I post upcoming videos. Again, thank you so much for joining me. Hope to see you again the next time I do a video. Thanks, everybody. Bye.